guys, I welcome you all in the next episode, the second part of our Walk the Dog Sideways Minnow. Here we starting from foiling the lure. I'm normally always polishing the aluminium foil to be sure I don't have any scratches and something like that. Then I'm folding it over, so I just need to trace the lure blank shape once, and once I will cut it out, then I already have two halves. So I'm cutting it with my precise scissors. Polishing to the foil once the shape I already cut out. And here very important part, degreasing with my airbrush cleaner, just to be sure that there is no grease from your fingerprints on the lure or any dust particles, anything like that, because the grease of course will prevent the foil to sticking properly to it, but any particles or dust or little burr will basically show off on the foil surface. So in order to have the cleanest possible foiling of the lure, always degrease it before you use. And then, as you can see, I'm applying the foil with the latex gloves. Again, is not to bring any additional grease from my fingertips. Make sure you align the foil nicely to the lure body, and always start sticking it to the lure blank from the middle. So always from the middle towards the outside, towards the edges, so then you avoid these nasty wrinkles on the side of the foil. You cannot really avoid them completely. Each time one or two will be there, and then of course in the next step I will show you how to get rid of them. So the initial smoothing of the edges of the foil is just by finger, and as you can see we already have two wrinkles. Third one is coming, there you go. But again, there are ways. So first a little bit with the nail. Next side, I'm just repeating the process. And here, once the foil is already applied, I make sure that it's all aligned. So this part was a little bit too long. And now you use whatever kind of rod, but it always might have some minor scratches on it. So then all the scratches will be transferred to your foil. So wrap it with some cloth, and then you sure that there is no anything sharp that can scratch the foil. Now it will give a really good shine, because a part of squishing all those wrinkles, it also polishes the aluminium foil, so will give even better shine than without it. Here I marked the hole for the belly wire. I mentioned to you last time that I will install it only after the foil is already applied. And here I'm using my dot making nail art tool. First the little bit bigger diameter ball to start tracing all the carving of the gills and the eye sockets, and after I have like the primary outline of all my carvings below, I will switch to the thinner diameter ball at the end to this is already the thinner one, and here I will trace it even in more detail. So thinner you can go, of course be careful not to cut through the foil, but basically thinner you can go, the more details you can take it out of your initial carving of the lure blank. And this step is pretty much finishing the foiling of the lure. Now it's time to apply the scale pattern. I'm using now the easiest, in my opinion, method. Using the grip of your X-Acto knife, just press uniformly against the foil lure and you're getting really nice fine scale pattern. Just continue on both sides, make sure everything is regular, you don't look any funny looking gaps, and then your lure will have a really nice scale pattern. As you can see, so both sides are done. So that finishes completely the part of the foiling. I can install my, also here I wanted to do the lateral line on the lure as well, and I'm using this tool. This can be found under the two names. Either way, the pastry marker or the pastry cutter, or this particular tool is actually to make the distancing on the letter, so after you can apply the holes for the stitches. So you can, I will actually put the link below of the video for the AliExpress auction where I purchased this tool. Whoever wants to buy it, it's really cheap, so why not. And yes, you can see it gives really nice and precise effect of the lateral line. Now is finally the point where I can screw in and glue in my belly hook hanger. So as with the previous front and the back one, I'm just applying the liberal amount of super glue to the threads of this wire. And remember, have the hole always as tight, so you actually need to screw it in. You cannot just push it in and out, because then it won't hold as strong as it should. So it is done. Always make sure everything is symmetrical and in line with the center of the lure, if you want to be sure that the lure will work correctly as it should. And now it's not yet the final painting. I'll be using only the black color to shadow the eye sockets, because the eyes on the carved lure I'm applying before the first coat of the epoxy after foiling. So in order to have them more stand out, I would like to shade the eye sockets before I put the eye in. And I also will utilize the rest of the paint in my chamber just to lightly shadow the back of the lure. But of course this is not the proper painting. The proper painting will be done only after I'll apply a few coats of epoxy. Now it's time to apply the eye, so remove the backing. Apply the super glue to the eye socket again using this tool, not directly from the bottle, just to be sure I don't put too big amount. So 2 dabs of the super glue, and now using the tweezers precisely apply the eye. This eye is handmade by me. It has this red color in it. This type of the eye I'm calling the blunt force trauma eye. I've seen on one video that actually predatory fish spit out the bait fish. The bait fish actually had this blood in the eyes because of course it was hit hard by the predator. So first of all, this is fluorescent paint. You always give a little bit extra visual effect for the fish. A part of that, you also look nice, so why not. And here we are already after 2 layers of the epoxy coat. I did that off camera, so all the surface is nice and smooth. And this is the usual letter hole punch. What I'm gonna do now is to cut out the 2 shapes to mask the eyes, because I don't want to, of course, the paint to go over them. So just cut out the shapes. I'm using 5 millimeters because this is what was the size of the eye. Applying them precisely only over the eye, so we will be able to paint it nicely and don't mind that the eye will get some overspray. So yeah, nice tip there for you. And starting with black to make the seam of the foil completely invisible and all the imperfections of the cast resin blank, I'll just now color the back completely black. Once the back is painted, it's time to apply our mesh stencil in order to achieve the scale pattern also on the back part of the lure. Again, I'm securing it with this handle of the X-Acto knife, which I'm using always when I paint my lure. And as you could see, I didn't paint the belly yet, and this is done deliberately, because whenever you would paint the belly by applying this crocodile clips, you might scratch the white paint. So now I have the clear epoxy underneath. I can put it as tight as possible and I don't need to be worried I will scratch anything. And after I'm done with painting the back completely, only then I'm gonna go into the belly part. So then be sure that your mesh is nicely aligned, you don't have any bigger or smaller spots. So I decided I'm happy with the effect. And now I'm using my, let's say, fluo goldish olive green custom mix. I use all these 3 colors, so fluo green, metal gold and black one, and as you can see it come up with the nice olive green color. I like to mix my custom paints. I do not have many colors. I'm not buying like this ready done colors, as I just feel that this is a waste of time and I can achieve whatever kind of color my fantasy allows me to do. So once the painting is done through the mesh, of course make sure the paint is completely dry. Use the hair dryer for that to speed up the process, and then carefully remove the mesh and admire our lovely scale pattern. Turns out nicely, nice and clean. Also you see guys how this lateral line showing nicely. Now in order to put some more olive green paint on the flanks of the lure, I'm just painting it a little bit still without the mesh, just to reach the lateral line. And the head, again I'm painting only with the pure paint, because of course I do not want to have the scale pattern on the head, as the fishes do not have it as well. And there you have it, the back part is already done. Now the usual Mr. Base White to prime and color the belly. Again you would go as long until the seams of the foil are no longer visible. Now everything is dry and painted. I will go over the belly and also the old lure with the pearl white. Of course, every fish have actually pearl white belly, not just a white belly. Also, I go over the flanks and the back. That softens the color a little bit and looks make the lure looks more natural and fishy with a little bit extra sparkle once you apply the final coat of the epoxy. Now, removing this masking tape from the eyes, as you can see, they really stand out nice and clean, and everything around them is painted a very natural way because I didn't need to focus of not painting over the eyes. And there we have it, final effect of the painting before the epoxy coat. And here I want to show you something. Look at that now, guys, the green color. Because the paint that I used to create my olive color is actually fluorescent paint, the lure will be more visible. Here already the action of the lure. It does work really nice for the walk the dog type of motion. It's not so regular as it could be because it's not perfectly symmetrical. The belly part is of course bigger than the back part of the lure, so sometimes it does more dives one way, sometimes even goes underwater, as you could see here, which actually better, more irregular, and like wounded fish action, it creates bigger chances that the predator will actually hit it. Here you can see slow motion from underneath. Definitely it will be enticing action for our asp fishing. So thank you for reaching till the end. This is the final look of the lure. The only thing I still need to do is to debur the eye, but it is still a little bit too soft, the epoxy. I prefer to be really like dust dry. And so that's how it looks, our bleak. So whoever managed to watch till the end, I thank you all. Also, if you are a subscriber of the channel, I hope you enjoyed the content. Whoever would like to have any suggestions to what my next build should be, please comment below, let me know. Also, you can let me know in the private message. Anyways, so the subscriber amount is growing, the videos are rather popular. 2 videos reach already 1k views, so I'm really happy with that. I'm hoping the quality of the videos will be improving, and I will reach a bigger amount of subscribers. I see still a lot of people watching without subscribing. I don't mind. For me, the views are more important, especially all your good comments. I'm thanking you for that as well. Next video, as always, on next Saturday, so whoever is subscribed to the channel and set the notification will be notified. I see you there in a week time. We had pretty exciting episode. Saltwater this time. I know all my lures were freshwater related so far, so for anyone who has access to the ocean or sea, fortunately I don't, but anyway, this will be a build for my holiday. So yeah, saltwater build for the next week. I hope you will all join next week as well. Subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you very much for watching, especially if you reach all these 20 minutes, then I really appreciate it. So such a jerk saying goodbye. Take care, guys, and I see you next week. Bye.